Welcome, everyone. I would just like to welcome everyone to the committee as a whole for Human Resources and Education, January 9th, 2020. Ms. Campbell, could I have the roll call, please?
Mr. Green? Here. Mrs. Heinz? Mr. Derman? Here. Mr. Loop? Here. Mr. Harrell? Here. Mr. Nation? Here. Mrs. Richardson? Here. Mr. Winkler? Here. Mrs. Drucker? Mr. Betancourt?
Here.
Mrs. Lamy?
Present.
Mr. Hersey?
Here.
Mr. Bro? Mr. Kuzan?
Here.
Mrs. Page?
Here. Please stand and join in the invocation and pledge led by Mr. Nation.
Let us pray. Direct us, O Lord, with your most gracious favor, that all our work, begun, continued, and ended in you, may find favor in your sight. And finally, by your mercy, may we all attain everlasting life through Christ our Lord. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do we have any board members that would like to recognize any visitors? Any board members? Well, I do. I would like to recognize my youngest son, Joshua, who is a junior at North Shore, and I'm very proud of Joshua. Thank you for coming out this evening, son. We had no one sign up for 5 minutes. Do we have anyone sign up for 3 minutes, Ms. Campbell? Thank you. Approval of the minutes for the committee as a whole meeting, December 5th, 2019. Do I have a motion on the floor? Mr. Kuzan, do I have a second? Mr. Green? Please queue up. Sorry. Okay. 13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion is passed. Mr. Jabbia, Human Resources, do you have anything, sir?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Next, we have instruction, Chromebook update by Mrs. DiCarlo. Thank you, Mrs. DiCarlo.
Good evening, President Nation, Chair Ms. Page, Mr. Foles, board members, and audience. I am very excited to share with you an overview of St. Tammany Parish Public Schools going one-to-one with Chromebooks for learning. All students live and learn in a digital world, and St. Tammany Parish Public Schools is committed to supporting growth towards becoming future-ready. Therefore, the one-to-one technology mission was created to assist our students in becoming global citizens who produce knowledge independently and collaboratively with their peers and teachers during the school day and beyond. 2018-19 was the pilot year for teachers and students using Chromebooks. 14 schools participated in the pilot program, with one junior high being completely one-to-one. With the voters' approval of the Security and Technology Bond Renewal, that has enabled us to move forward with our one-to-one initiative. As a result, the implementation for this school year targeted 4th and 5th grade students, as well as keeping on board the same junior high. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students will be added next school year. Over the course of the following 3 years, the high school's implementation will occur. By 2024, the projected number of 4th through 12th grade students using Chromebooks will be 25,959. We realize that the effectiveness of professional development has a direct impact on the success of a one-to-one program. Great strides are being taken in providing diverse PD opportunities for our teachers. The teacher training is divided into 2 half-day sessions. Monthly sessions to further teachers' understanding of technology integration are available during the school year on both sides of the parish. A technology team member is also assigned to each school to assist with the implementation of Chromebooks for instructional purposes. Sessions are also available during Summer Institute and at the Treen Technology Center throughout the summer. At this time, I would like to introduce the instructional technology members of that team that are here with us tonight. We have Inky Landry. We also have Sandy Schwartz, as well as Rachel Gill. These 3 ladies do provide the instructional purposes training and are assigned to the schools and do support each and every one of them. It truly has been a working together implementation, and it can't be done without the support of the informational technology department as well. Mr. Bouillon and his members of his team have been very supportive and could not do it without it. And Mr. Tony Hilaris is not here tonight, but he too has made sure that the implementation for our teachers is always done and they have exactly what it is that they need. So I want to also make sure that we understand we have truly worked together for this initiative to begin to be successful. Technology is truly just a tool. The teacher still remains the most important part of getting our students working together as well as motivating them. So what is a Chromebook? It's a device that runs on a Chrome operating system. Programs are not installed on a Chromebook, but rather apps or extensions are added to the Chrome browser. The startup time is about 7 seconds, with at least 10 hours or more of battery life. Like other equipment in our district, the Chromebooks are managed with restricted access to non-educational sites and applications. The students and the teachers are issued a 14-inch HP touchscreen device. Google applications for education, are better known as G Suite for education, serves as the focus for our teachers' professional learning. G Suite is a suite of tools that help increase opportunities for collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, and communication. The tools are ad-free, they are reliable, and they are secure. Google Drive is like an online hard drive where files can be stored. Google Docs is similar to Microsoft Word. Google Sheets is similar to Microsoft Excel. Google Slides is very similar to Microsoft PowerPoint. Google Forms, this is where our teachers can build quick and easy surveys, quizzes, and formative assessments to be administered. Google Classroom is the collaboration tool between our teachers and our students. And this is the piece that helps to organize and to streamline the classroom experience. Teachers create a class, they add their students, and they create assignments. When this is up, teachers are able to see who's working on assignment, who's completing assignments, and all at the same time offer feedback to the students, and they can answer the students' questions and their comments all at the same time on various assignments. Security is in place on each device to prevent certain types of downloads, including extensions and apps. STPPS double filters the Chromebooks by using its existing filters as well as Google's Safe Search filtering. While off campus, the devices will continue to be filtered. No software can filter 100% of improper content, so parents and guardians are responsible for monitoring their child's access to the internet when the student is off campus. Before a Chromebook is issued, the student and his or her parents and/or guardians agree to the terms of the Chromebook Responsible Use Guidelines and all the other policies that it does reference. Families are encouraged to pay the $19 for the student device damage coverage. This program covers accidental damage to the device. The Chromebook is then assigned to the student, and students use their username and passwords to log in. A case for the Chromebook, as well as a charger, are also issued to each student. The students are allowed to take home the Chromebooks and are required to bring to school fully charged. One of the first things the students learn is proper care of the Chromebook. Then students experience lessons on digital citizenship. These lessons ensure that students understand the best way to responsibly work in a digital environment. The Chromebook is designed to be connected to the internet, but it has capabilities for students to complete assignments in an offline mode after school hours. The addition of the Chromebook is just one more way that St. Tammany Parish Public Schools continues to level the field of opportunity for all of its students. No one can predict the future. We can only prepare for what it might bring. Utilizing digital tools and resources, as well as time using technology, will help our students be future ready. At this time, I'd like us to view a Chromebook for Learning video produced by Channel 13.
My friends and I all use technology at home, so having a Chromebook at school is a perfect fit.
With Chromebooks, the big overall difference I see is that students are now producers, they're not consumers. Their generation, we know that they're going to need these skills. The students are engaged, I think, because they know that they're going to be collaborating and sharing, and other people are going to be able to see their work.
Everything I need to learn with is right on my Chromebook.
The teachers have really embraced the collaborative piece and worked with students. It's kind of unlocked the creativity, their creativity, the kids' creativity that kind of goes with critical thinking.
We did go through the Chromebook training. I think we've learned a lot from it, and it has helped us transition into this new way of teaching. Yesterday we started with scientific notation. We made our posters and our notes.
I learned new things by listening to the Chromebook because it reads out loud to me, which is fun.
It helps you just pretty much do anything. It has all the textbooks, it has all the homework you need to do. Everything is just on there and it's so organized.
You know, Chromebooks is a win-win for us, it's a win for them, and we're preparing them for their future. Everything is technology-based now, whether it's career, college, whatever they're gonna do, so they need the experience.
I'm glad to have the Chromebook around to improve my learning and my reading skills.
Chromebooks are deepening their understanding because it's allowing them access to things they never had access to before.
So we met them where they are. You know, we joined them, and really it's been such a positive experience to see them blossom.
This does conclude the presentation, and Mr. Bouillon and I are available if there are any questions.
Thank you, Mrs. DiCarlo. That was outstanding.
Thank you.
Really, really good. Do we have any comments from the board? Mr. Winkler?
Mr. Carlo, what kind of feedback are you getting from principals, teachers? I'm hearing good things. Are y'all hearing the same things?
We are. At the close of the pilot year, we did do a feedback survey from all of the teachers as well as the administrators for our piloting schools. The feedback coming in was that student engagement was at a very high level. The amount of classwork being turned in had increased, and to me, the most significant part was that if a student was absent, they were able to keep up with the classwork during the school day.
And do you all know how many other systems, say in our state, that are using this same system, or I bet you Inky does?
I can't probably give you a number, but I can tell you just about every district in the state of Louisiana is using Chromebooks. When we attend LaQ, it's represented by many, many districts, and we have learned and went to visit many districts during our pilot year and even before that.
Yeah, I think this is going to be great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Nation?
Thank you, Mrs. Page. And Mr. Carlo, I echo what was said. I mean, I think it's a great project. I mean, and I think it's going to be wonderful for our students. The question I've got is, what is the shelf life for one of these Chromebooks? And when, the expiration date comes, so to speak, do we have the funds to replace those as they age out? So,
there's an end of life when the model is first put into production, and it's usually 6 years from when that model is produced. So we've anticipated about 4 years within our system we will have to replace. Every 4 years we will replace the device.
do we have funding in place to replace those?
It's part of the bond issue.
Ms. Lamy?
Thank you, Ms. Page. First, I want to thank everybody who's worked on this, because I know the teacher that I've spoken to and the students that I've spoken to absolutely love it. There's not a pitfall, so thank you all. And to our computer experts, I've worked with you guys, and I know that you're making it awesome for the teachers, so thank you for what you do. Two quick questions. One is, if the student elects not to pay the $19, do we still send the computers home with them?
Yes, that
They
does
still
not.
go home anyway?
Yes, they still go home anyway.
Okay, and the other one is, how will we decide which high schools get them when? I know it's a 3-year rollout plan, so do we know what we're gonna do to figure out which high schools will get them which year?
Not yet. Next year is junior high, so.
So we still have some time to work on that?
Time to work on
Okay,
that.
awesome, I was just curious. Thank you so much.
Ms. Heights?
Thank you, Ms. Page. I'm very pleased that we're offering this technology to our students, and I know that they're enjoying it, and it's wonderful to hear that they're keeping up with their assignments when they're absent, and that the homework is level of homework being turned in is higher. Remind me again, did you say in the presentation whether they were able to connect online at home?
They work in an offline mode.
Right.
So what the student does do is they'll download the document before they leave school. Then when they go home, they can pull up the Google Docs, they can completely work on it, completely fill it out. Then once they get to school, it's gonna automatically upload itself. So all the work is saved.
And that's wonderful, because I know a lot of children do not have the internet
Correct.
at home. But do they have the ability to
Yes.
connect online
Yes.
at home?
Yes.
They
do.
can function just like they do in the school
Yes.
at home if they have internet or wireless capability.
Okay, thank you. And then a follow-up to Mr. Nation's question, as he called it, the shelf life, but I was thinking about, a refresh, because by 2024, will Chromebooks be the thing to use in education? Do we have a plan in place to evaluate the use of the hardware?
We're constantly evaluating what we're deploying, and we're going to use the most cost-effective, educationally appropriate technology. But right now, we would deploy 4 through 12, and then our refresh would go in at 4th grade and 9th grade and follow the students through. And then if the technology is constantly changing, even the original from the pilot year to the second year, the technology has improved and we bought different models, so every year it's improving.
So we're not
No,
necessarily
we have the
locked.
flexibility to choose what's the most appropriate at the
Right.
time for the best cost and the best technologies available. Just like we made this decision at this time. And as we know, 4 years, technology is old. Everything, who would have thought 4 years ago what we're looking at? So, yeah, we have the flexibility to do that.
And that was,
And the monies, because of the generosity and support of our public, to do it.
all right, well, that was really where I was getting at. Thank you so much.
Mr. Green?
Thank you, Ms. Page. This question may be for both of you, but I noticed the Google Suite, I mean, industry-wide, Microsoft Office is still very popular. I know Google's becoming more popular. Was the decision made there because Google's free, essentially? Is that platform, are those apps free?
In comparison, both have the same functionality. You can move back and forth between both of them. It actually came down to the technology and what was supported. Microsoft doesn't offer hardware. There is no Chromebook equivalent on the Microsoft side. And on the privacy agreements, Microsoft was unwilling at the time, 3 years ago, to sign the state privacy agreements. Google, Carasoft, the parent company of Google, was.
Okay. My second question is, has this been able to replace textbooks in middle school and junior high? I know some parents complain about the big backpacks that are going to school with textbooks and things. Has this replaced that at all and made the load lighter?
It's not replacing them. It's offering a method to access the textbooks. A lot of the apps that we push to the Chromebooks are the online textbook apps. Like the math textbook, Big Ideas Learning is one of the apps that we push. So we push the online apps so that they actually don't need a textbook. They can access their textbook electronically.
Thank you.
Ms. Richardson?
Okay, I had a question. What do we do for the summer? Do the kids get to have the Chromebooks during the summer?
We collect them during the summer and actually go through and clean them and prepare them for the next school year. So that's our small window to get 25,000 ready for the next.
That's a lot of work.
Yes.
I do want to applaud you and your team. I've had to work with you already with a parent concern, and it was just immediately resolved. I'm very impressed with that. I'm in my dissertation right now, and it's so impressive to see a fifth grader come home and have a platform that mirrors what I'm doing. The collaboration, the global learning, it's from an educator's perspective, it's very exciting to see our district come up to the par and be able to deliver this to our families. So I thank you.
Mr. Bethencourt?
Thank you, Ms. Page. I know some students gonna come to school and the thing's not gonna be charged. How fast does it recharge, and is there gonna be a place in the classroom for, or they just have to do without it that day, or what?
The schools have made accommodations if they need to charge a device. It can be charged and used at the same time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but
it actually lasts longer than 10 hours. A student, if they charge it twice a week, they could use it the entire week.
Okay, but every desk isn't gonna have an AC outlet, right?
No, and most of the students, we haven't had an issue.
No, okay.
Actually, that's not the norm for a Chromebook coming to school not charged. It's truly not the norm. So some schools have purchased extra chargers to have on hand, but it's amazing, it's not the norm.
Well, that wouldn't have happened if I had one.
That's why they buy extra chargers.
Ms.
Thank
Page,
you.
if I could, and this is kind of related but not related, I'm probably going to jinx us, but I do want to take a second to recognize the efforts of all the IT people as we continue to work through all these cybersecurity attacks across the state. I mean, if any of you have been following other school system situations, any of you have been following State of Louisiana, Department of Motor Vehicles, all these different agencies that are fighting this challenge, and we're certainly fighting it too, but I think because how proactive Lewis and his team have been through the years, that we were able to dodge major bullets here. Like I said, I'm probably jinxing this, but I do think it's important to recognize the efforts. I know I said this at the principal meeting sometime Tuesday. Sometimes all of us get a little aggravated with Lewis and his staff and his people because how tough they are and how many times they say no to things. But when you see what's going on in other places, we realize now why he is saying no to some of these things. So I want to thank them for their efforts, and don't let it happen. All right?
Thank you, Mr. Foltz.
Thank you.
Right.
And thank you, Mrs. DiCarlo. With no further business, this meeting is adjourned.